Fast forward, you didn't come over channel you saw AG Politics Avenue. Podcasters are training because making headlines. And Jimre na yidibi Akroma nidim ni ahun brag simu se ene. Yidi kanya message so but subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell also share na afoforo so ensa intum enkabi. Nidim ahun brag simu. Message say yanku yensimu. Yaku yensimu member of parliament Emma Tolong. Nenia bre enya asemkutua. Menoka say or petition His Excellency John Dramani Mahama efa eye Z9 helicopter crash isi ewo eye adanse boa simpotempo no. Na nyina asem obusa nyina ne say open the update of the investigation, the cause of it, aftermath of it. Awunya enya asemkutua kra. Na abajafo atrakse omu ajimre na omu ebo insimu inchiremu ehu behia se ese wonso hu de yeko ene de eba akosi sei at this point in time yemon ransimuni
Forces has initiated a full and transparent investigation into the circumstances of this crash. An investigative board of inquiry has been set up to investigate the cause of the crash. The flight data and cockpit voice recorders have both been retrieved. All 8 of the bodies of our departed comrades have been retrieved, and the government is in close touch with the bereaved families about identification of the bodies and final interment.
So there was a president just less than 24 hours after this crash that claimed 8 Ghanaians, including ministers of state, 7 ministers of state. Now, this is not to recall the pain of the loss of these gallant Ghanaians, but then again, the member of parliament for Tolong is asking questions, and we'll give you the basis why. And this is it. He says that on 25th of August 2025, a committee of inquiry was established to investigate the circumstances surrounding the accident, and the public was informed that the findings would be shared within 30 days. Now, he goes on to say, based on this particular outcome and what was earlier communicated, because of this particular 30 days period that was communicated, he stated that there are some answers that need to be given. And we'll tell you why. This is it. The Ministry of Defense, and this was a statement that was issued by the acting Minister of Defense, that is Dr. Črǎsļ Akuffo, on the 25th of August. So you see that Habib Idris is referring to this statement that was issued by Dr. Črǎsļ Akuffo on the 25th of August 2025, that the Ministry of Defense informs the public that the investigations board established to inquire into the recent Z9 helicopter crash has formally commenced its work, that the board is chaired by the National Security Coordinator with membership drawn from the Ghana Air Force and the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. This was the membership, the composition of the membership of this said Board of Investigation. Recall the president, what I just played to you, the president referenced this Board of Investigation, and this is the composition of the membership of the Board of Investigation that the president talked about, which had the sole job of investigating what led to this particular crash. President reiterating the commitment to get to the bottom of exactly what had happened. And that statement that was issued by Dr. Črǎsļ Akuffo did continue that the United States of America is providing advice and assistance to the board through visiting investigators from the U.S. Air Force. The board may also invite other relevant experts and institutions, both local and international, to assist with the investigation. It will be recalled that on the day of the incident, the 6th of August, a preliminary investigation team was constituted to gather all available evidence relating to the crash in support of the board's work. The preliminary investigation team is scheduled to submit its report to the board today. This was the 25th of August. So it stands to say that all things being equal, the preliminary investigation team have submitted the preliminary investigation report to this investigation board as of the 25th of August. if what the minister's statement is saying is anything to go by. The investigation board has been mandated to complete its work within 30 days. So we tracked the period. So bear in mind, this statement was issued on the 25th of August. So on the 25th of August, we're told that within 30 days, this investigation board will have their work cut out for them. So we counted from the 26th of August. The 30-day period would have elapsed on the 24th of September, between the period or the date that is the statement was issued, 25th of August. We started counting the 30 days from the next day. 26th of August to the 24th of September 2025 was that 30-day period that this investigation board was giving to do their work. Now, if you track what has happened between that period, the end date of 24th September, that 30-day period, from then till now, after the elapse of that deadline of the 30 days, we've had additional 33 days after the 30 days that was given to this investigation board to do their work. That is what, from what we are picking, has prompted this query by the Member of Parliament, Habib Idris, who's asking questions of exactly what is happening. Why have they really completed their work within this 30-day period? Where is the report? Is it going to be made public? Are these questions worth asking? Wing Commander Patrick Nelson Sogbojo, retired, is a retired Ghana Air Force pilot. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Wing Commander Patrick Nelson Sogbojo, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening to you.
Great. Now, this has come at a time when the Member of Parliament, Habib Idris, is asking questions that if an investigation board was given 30 days to do their work, and it's been additional 33 days after the 30-day period elapsed, what is happening? Are these questions worth asking when demanding some answers for?
Well, there may be, good evening to you and your listeners. It might be important to ask these questions. But then, you see, when you go to a board of inquiry, especially aircraft incidents, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Yeah. You know, aircraft investigation is not like a vehicle crash. It's very elaborate. Yeah, it's quite elaborate. I will only plead that.
Yes, I can hear you clearly, please.
Yes. I will just ask compatriots and the country to be patient.
I see.
Because quite recently, there was a similar helicopter crash in the United States.
Yes, I can hear you. Commander, if you can listen to me and not watch the television.
Yeah, I heard about the question the parliamentarian raised. Please don't let's bring in timelines.
I see. But the reason why he is referencing timelines is because the Defense Ministry's statement actually had a timeline for the work of the investigation board, 30 days.
It is virtually impossible for anyone to impose timelines on aircraft crash investigations. Let the search and rescue or the board of inquiry come out with findings.
I see. Now, when Commander, if you could listen to me, I can hear you. If you could listen to me on the television, right? You say that it's virtually impossible to put a timeline to aircraft accident investigation?
Yes, you set up a board of inquiry, and there are a lot of things that you have to investigate. Well, I'm trying to analyze it. There is an aircraft investigation, crash investigation. There are a lot of things that they have to look at before they deduce what happened. And if they haven't come to the conclusion, they cannot just come out and say we have done A, B, or C.
So for you, a deadline, this 30-day period shouldn't have even come up at all in this statement that was issued.
No, it shouldn't. And I'm giving you an example. Quite recently, a U.S. Air Force helicopter crashed into a jetliner in New York, and 78 people died.
I see. Because the wording of this statement was quite clear, and we'll put that on the screen right now, because it indicated, and this is what the acting defense minister said in this statement that was issued on the 25th of August, that, quote, the investigation board has been mandated to complete its work within 30 days. That was...
Well, then I'm saying that the defense minister is not a technocrat on aircraft investigation. He just announced that it was established. But the experts will go in and find out exactly what happened.
At least in order to answer this question of concern, would you recommend an update, sort of, that so as to... Yes.
I was just trying to give you an example of...
I can hear you, Commander.
Yeah, I was just giving an example where the United States, with all their scientific means, recently a helicopter ran into a jet airliner and killed 78 people. It took only about 3 months for the board of inquiry to finish their work and then send it to the operator, because the information which they come out is not public notice, it's classified information. I need to go to the operator, and most of the time, board of inquiries are made to learn from what happened. Then the government or defense will decide what to tell the public. It is not public notice.
Well, but I think you've been quite clear that there is no way a time period can be put on aircraft investigation, aircraft crash investigations.
Well, when the board of inquiry is investigating and they have not reported to you, you can mandate them to a timeline.
But with your experience, looking at this statement and the 30-day timeline was given, what could have informed this part of it? Because this is a statement coming from the acting defense minister. Obviously, he would have not been acting on his own. He would have had some advice.
The defense minister is a politician and the head.
And how I can hear you.
And assuming that the board of inquiry goes to site and they put things together. And I think earlier we told you we'll have a voice recorder and a black box. When the manufacturer of an aircraft is making an airplane, he may sometimes go to purchase other equipment from other countries to assemble. And this is why they got the US coming, because maybe they were experts on a black box. But the black box should be open and find out what happened, because whatever is there, it's not like watching a video film. It's encrypted. So they must also finish their job, pass it on to the board of inquiry to be able to tie up. And if they haven't gotten all these things, they cannot give exactly what happened. So I will plead that we should be patient.
I do thank you, Wing Commander Patrick Sokojo, retired Ghana Air Force pilot. Thank you so much for your expertise on this matter and the appeal for patience as well, in as much as there was that 30-day period given. We'll see what the response will be on this RTI request by the Honorable Habib Idris, the MP for Tolong constituency. This is Ghana Tonight. Expose people to security dangers. Fears are rife that people and media houses could be targeted when officials are granted such wild powers as contained in the draft law. A former Minister of Information, Akroma, the Fosia Yerebe Member of Parliament, in a media engagement earlier today, demanded the government backtracks from this legislation. Take a look.
What we are seeing appears to be a draft, and that they want to consult on that draft. From what I have seen as a former information minister, this draft is dangerous, though it's not surprising. And let me explain why it's not surprising. It's not surprising because I think the president first announced it, that they are going to use the national security apparatus to go after people who make comments on social media that they consider, for whatever reason, whether it's under hate speech or it's under whatever, they consider it unfavorable. They're going to search for your IP addresses and then get the security apparatus to go after you. The president himself said it. So it's not surprising that his minister is now following up with a draft bill with such wild provisions in there. What is dangerous about it is that over the last set of decades, various countries have been moving away from criminalizing speech. There are other remedies for speech that may be deemed unfavorable, most of them civil, but not necessarily criminalizing it. Even the Criminal Libel and Sedition Act was repealed by the Akuffo administration. There are still remnants of laws that still seek to criminalize speech. For example, this law that is being used a lot, publication of false news, with intent of causing fear and panic, is one of those laws that actually still needs to be repealed. Instead of repealing that to advance, democratic freedoms, the government is now seeking through this draft that it wants to consult on to enact legislation that will now even ensure that when you put up a comment in your chat groups and they find it offensive according to their criteria, you could go to jail. And I think it's a very dangerous, encroachment into the area of free speech. The government needs to tread cautiously. I'm hopeful that when the consultations start, the government will see wisdom in backtracking and ensuring that instead of rather seeking to further criminalize speech, even the remnant laws on criminalization of speech should be repealed.
Kojo Akroma spoke yesterday in that press engagement. Anthony Suma is a member of parliament for the Nadoli Kaleo constituency and a member of the Communications and Information Committee of Parliament, of which Kojo Akroma as well is a member. He's joining us on the telephone right now. Good evening to you, Mr. Suma, if you can hear us.
And good evening to your cherished listeners.
Well, you heard your colleague member of parliament there indicate that this bill, this cybersecurity bill in its current form is a dangerous threat to free speech, essentially. And in his own understanding, and as he's seen the details of it, it could even impact on the work of media houses. So why are you going on that path if it's indeed what Kojo Akroma pointed out is what is happening or is captured in this bill?
Thank you very much, my brother. It is definitely not the case, but I wouldn't want to go on that tangent. The amendment that the ministry is seeking to make, or the government is seeking to make, is to provide for the authority to be able to what? To investigate and prosecute. If we see the object, if we go through the amendment that is being brought. But that is not what should be our focus. The issue is that this is a zero draft. This is a draft that has yet not received cabinet approval. This is a draft that has not received the attention of the Attorney General. But having learned from the past and what happened in passing the Cybersecurity Act, Act 1036, we thought that it was necessary to first put out this zero draft to welcome concerns, suggestions from the public, fine-tune this draft before it's even laid before cabinet to look at. So I think that is what we should be looking at. In fact, this is a commendable step, and we should commend the ministry and the authority and the agency for putting out this zero draft to get suggestions from the public, the experts in the board, media houses, individuals who have concerns.
Right. Well, I think that's what Kojo Akroma has just done. He has raised his concerns, which he thinks should be considered in the consultation process.
So
right?
it will give me the opportunity. So I think that this is a more transparent process. A departure from what we witnessed in passing the act, such that act never came to public until it was laid in the House and referred to the Communications Committee. The Communications Committee, they never had the opportunity to look at the act.
Right.
This time around, it has been put in the public. We are welcoming all suggestions. And you are quite familiar with the process of legislation as provided for in Federal Article 106 of the Constitution, if I'm right.
Right.
So this is just to get people to bring their input before it even goes to cabinet, before the Attorney General looks at it. So we welcome all the concerns. I've had the opportunity to speak to some of these concerns. Look, I am telling you that we'll go through a process. This will go through 2-3 other processes before it comes to Parliament. And when it comes to Parliament, it will refer to a committee. Individuals will have the opportunity to submit memoranda, to appear before the committee and make their reservations about some of these provisions known. It will still come for a debate in the House, which will be public. We will go clause by clause again. That is the consideration stage. So if there are such concerns, there's an opportunity to deal with them through any of these processes. So I think it's early days yet.
Well, because you talk about the fact that this is at the draft stage.
We and some who team course or channel so I'm not so jim or har sene so bad in their dub edumania. Insensie na yan sumo kwansung sukra. AGH Politics Avenue.